It looks to me like Alion has said C3. So as soon as I see the move in chat, I'm putting it on the board. F6. Okay, so we have symmetry on the board. C4. This is absolutely going to be the game of the day. C3, F6, C4, yes. E4. And somebody please keep an eye on me. If I screw up, I can undo these moves. C2. But that last move, the crayon just beat me with the IGO. That was pretty good. C5. Okay, so AlphaYugo blocks on C5. And here we go. First blood. ItGo takes the Yugo on C1. E5 for AlphaYugo. D4. I should actually get this on the screen, but I'm not set up to do that. My apologies to anybody who's watching. E6. I should have this chat in view, but I don't. D2. I wonder if I can do something about that. There we go. D5. Oops, that's not going to work. Oh my goodness. I've lost my chat. Hang on. Where did I put the chat? It's behind that. Oh, great. Okay, great. No, it's not. Okay, slow down. Hang on. I had a great idea that turned out not to be a great idea. My apologies. And let me just recover. Okay, I'm sorry if that's not going to work. Okay, I'm going to have to bring it back down here. Sorry. Sorry. Okay, so the last move was D5, then D3, then D6, then D1, then C6, then E1, then B1, then F1, and I'm guessing E1 is coming up, and so it is. Let me just see. And D3. No, I can't. F3. Sorry, guys. C4. I wanted to get the chat picked up as we record this, but it's not going to stay on top. D5, E4. I can absolutely set it up, but just in the middle of this game, I don't want to do it because D6, because I'm recording this and I'm going to be using this in the video, and D2. And I know that some people who are watching are going to wish they could see the moves in chat. You guys, you don't have to worry, but I think people who are watching the replay might want to be able to see the moves in chat. D4, because all they're hearing is just me calling them out, which isn't all that exciting. E2. Yeah, I'll figure this out for the next time. C4. Well, AlphaYugo certainly has central control, and D3. ItGo is, yeah, I could do that too. C3. And Alion says, ItGo is pretty happy. C4. I predict D3 is coming. And so it is. Look at me, I play like a computer. E3. I just don't want to screw any of these moves up. D4. B2. F6 from AlphaYugo, creating a Yugo. There's the four corners, by the way. C2. It's still, even with two engines playing, it's a Yugo fest. D4. It's just one Yugo after another. Constant, constant. A4. E5. And AlphaYugo takes the Yugo, and now ItGo is going to have to block on D4, which it does, creating a pie line on B4. F5. B3. And there is a Yugo for ItGo. A4 to block. 7 Yugos to 6 for AlphaYugo. You see a win in 3. D6. C5. D2. Okay, ItGo is still cornering the market down on the bottom of the board. I don't know about you guys, but I'm fascinated by this. G6. Absolutely fascinated by this. And I don't even know what's going on the board. B2. D2, as you would imagine. DPA says that ItGo needs to force D4 out. Yes, absolutely. That would lead to an IGO. D5 from ItGo. D5. Taking the center of the board. H6. Okay. E6. Wow. D5. My goodness. Possibilities everywhere. F5. So the question is this going to end in an IGO or a WeGo? And if it does go to a WeGo, will it be a win or a draw? B5. I don't think it's going to go to a WeGo. C5 for ItGo. I don't think it's going to go to a WeGo just because it so seldom does, but let's see what these engines come up with. G7. I feel like I'm calling bingo. H8. Okay, ItGo says I'll just get right up there and block. G5. Crayon says the bottom of the board is somewhat dead, and yes, with all those Yugos blocking one another, it is to some degree. G4 for ItGo. No bingo yet. So ItGo just gave itself a pie line. D8. Wow. E7. Now they're working on that open area at the top of the board. A8 corner, says R plus, and we're on move 33. 9 Yugos to 7 for AlphaYugo. Pie line so that it can't file on F4 because D4 is pinned. B7. B8. So AlphaYugo is working along the top of the board now. C8. Blocking. A Wigo occurs, Crayon, as soon as G8 for AlphaWigo, as soon as a player has no legal move, the game ends with a Wigo. And we go to the Yugo count. G2 for ItGo. G2. And Alion says up to depth 11 now. I'm not sure what that is compared to where it was. F8. E8. G5. Yeah, any move is legal as long as it doesn't create a line longer than 4 of your own color. G3. So that would just be forcing your opponent to be in a position where it plays a move that is detrimental to its game. G1. Blocking. F7. Something along the lines of a zugzwang in chess. G7. Not the same because in chess, as the game comes to a conclusion, the board is usually um, more bare. C7. But in Migoyugo, as the game comes closer to an end, the board is filled up and there are fewer options. Crayon says that ItGo wants a Wigo so bad. A2 for AlphaYugo. H5. ItGo plays H5. Right now it's 9 Yugos to 8 for AlphaYugo. H2. And in this part of the game, you've got to be extremely careful not to play a move that is going to create a Yugo, G6, and open up a space for your opponent to win. Will it go play A3? Crayon is wondering. Time will tell. E8. There's the Yugo. Now it's 10 to 9. D8. ItGo jumps in there. Now Alion is saying ItGo is getting unhappy. F8. ItGo was happy, now getting unhappy. That doesn't sound like H4, like this is going to end well for ItGo. ItGo is certain of its demise. Well, maybe it sees that it's going to be forced to play a move that's going to lead to an IGO for AlphaYugo. F7. And AlphaYugo, my experience is AlphaYugo will squeeze the life out of you. H1. AlphaYugo is long game, yes. H3. AlphaYugo is kind of like, does that hurt? Does that hurt? And then when you say yes, it says, well, let me do it a little bit harder. It just wants to hurt you. H5. I think it's less about the win and more about the punishment for AlphaYugo. A6. Well, these spots have to be filled in at some point. A1. Now you've just got to avoid those spaces that are going to hurt you. But we still might see a few more Yugos. You never know. A3. A7. Well, there's fewer and fewer options available. We've got pie here. We've got pie here for black and for white. H7. We've got pie lines, A5. We've got pie lines on the board for both. So there are certain spaces that, for both players, they cannot use. B6. There's a pie line nobody can play there. B4. There's a double Yugo. What is the result of that? My guess is E4 and a loss. GG. Do we have E4 on the board? I just want to make sure. E4. Okay, we have an ItGo on move 50. GG says R plus and GG says Alion.